Okay, we'll try to tackle again the Maimar Matis. The first two Amudim of this Maimar are written extremely bekitzer, every word, very bekitzer. Later on, he starts writing a little more readable, and that's why it says the last night in the bottom of the Shumit Vori. So at this point, what we're up to is that he started asking what Zeh Dovo, and he went back to say that Zeh, that the Lashon is Zeh Kol Adam, Zeh is Gilui, because the Chiddush of the Adam is Megal. So we're going to start the Shoah Mascheles, the Hine. We did it already, we'll do it again. The Hine Beseda Abriya Datzach Kodmu, the order of creation Datzach Kodmu. That's proved Kodnu B'Shoshan also. Now the fact that and it's chased Meibarations. The Tzemei Chai were created. And the last thing that's created was Adam, Medaber. So that proves the Kodnu B'Shoshan. The rest of the creation has an advantage over Adam. It says what we learned yesterday in Chumash also. It says Omar Simloi, why in the Parshas Shmini talks about the Kasha Sachilush, the Chai, and Parshas Tazria talks about Medapas. The Medrash says, just like in the Sheish Neiverations, first, the creation of that's Cham. That's now they're talking about Chai. Same, and then Adam, same thing. The Torah first it says the Torah what the Be'em is Kosh, then it says the Ishik Tazria. It's connected a little bit. Was this is the reason why the sustenance of the Adam of the human being is to the tzach, to eating. The other element, the other parts of creation. See, this is basically a concept which is not that common in Chassidus. To say that Adam is that the Zaynus comes from Zaynus Bina Chanesh Bem Tainuk. Mashengen Adam comes from the lower than Bina. That's it's not a common statement. Usually it talks what he's going to say later that the Zaynus come from Tikkun, from Toy, and Adam is from Tikkun. Tikkun is without Toy. But here it says Zaynus Mischeten is Bina Chanesh Bem Tainuk, because Bina is Tainuk. What is the Lashon? Is Gas a Tainuk with Bina? Like Chassidus explains that when a person understands something, that is when he's when he really appreciates it. That's when he has delight in it. If he doesn't understand it, there's lacks of time. So that's a marshal on the fact that the time that we get from a Zayna is because the Zaynas are from a higher level, from Bina. What's bad? But the more important part is after the Adam, the human being, which means in our case Eden, there's I of the rest of creation. Why? That's Cham Abiyah. And Adam is Masih. Chaviv Adam. Chaviv Adam Shneva B'Tselem. I told you it's written very remissly. Chaviv Adam Shneva B'Tselem. The Adam is more Chaviv, which is higher than the rest of creation. Because just like Dem Tzvei Chaim Adaba Medada is connected at Tzilus. So he said, when it says in Pasuk, "Val the Musa Kisei Muskamar Adam." Kisei, that's Adam Abriya. But Adam is Al Musa, it's above the Kisei. So that expresses the point that Adam is above the Tzcham. V'lachein ha'Adam mani kulam sakin kulam. That's what it says in Pasuk. The purpose of Adam, of the human being, is to repair, control, and repair the rest of creation. Kamoiken beruchnius, the maila idea gilu. Similar in Avodas Hashem, in other words, to the Gilui Likus, which is to Avodas Adam, that elevates the rest of creation. Shemam Shevakim Achayish is Safra Shechel Ne'er. Adam, to his Avodah of his Safra Shechel Ne'er, he brings in Gilui in Chayshach. Begam Gilui Shoshel Mekayim Be'el Adei Adam. Even in Benayet, so it's 2 points. Number one, Adam is higher. And number two, in the rest of creation, Adam is the one who's Megala Der Sheresh, which is very high. But that Vayiko Adam Shemes. That's what it says. Vayiko, what does Vayiko Adam Shemes mean? That Adam gave names to the rest of creation. So he says, Pshat, Alpi, see this? He's the one who was Megaling them their souls, the godly souls. But that Adam, they're like, they lack that giver. The Daka is Sevoch. Okay, that point is a word in the Maimak is Sevoch. Chein Amaoretz also lechel baso. The famous Maimak Chazal Amaoretz also lechel baso. Chein Kedem Atfila. Similar, it says. We all remember from the Maimak Chadoidi that Chilul Lachem Min Adam Asher the Shama Be'apre. That before Lifnei Tefillah can be no achila. What does it mean? That in order to elevate the basar, or to elevate the rest of the achila bechlal, need Torah and tefillah. The Adam has to be in a state of not to be a ma'aretz. It has to be a real Adam. And has to daven, which tefillah also expresses the same concept, but that's unique, the unique act of Adam. Ka'achila shemakabel highest man while the shemaylos. How can he eat only to imaylos? So it depends on his avodas. He has to be tefillah. He has to be in a state of tefillah. Then he can elevate it. Arei Adam l'mayla man. So we see here that Adam is above them. He milos. So we see basically again everything is remez here. So the conclusion of what we read the last few lines is that on the one hand they are higher than him. They were created before him, and they give him sustenance. A person lives from the koyach halaki, which is in that tzach. On the other hand, Adam is the one who he elevates them. He's megala the koyach legisha b'hem. So we have two opposites there. So it's like a contradiction of shneim emes, and both these aspects, both these qualities are true. Explanation: the zayin malachim the toyu kodem l'tik. Chlal zayin malachim the toyu the 7 and malachim. Like we mentioned in Parshas Vayishlach, which is the spheres of Toyu Kodmalatik. Like it says in Pasuk, Ve'ela Malachim Shemach Be'eretz Edom Lifnei Melech Melech Bnei Yisrael. The Toyu is higher than before Tikkun. And Tikkun Tzimtzum Miut. In the world of Tikkun, there's Tzimtzum, there's Miut. Miut Ta'oil, like we said, mentioned previously. In Toyu, there's Ma'ubim. In Tikkun, there's Ma'at. Over Toyu Ribu, Pchilas Havdah Se'ach. Ve'adam Shosha Mitikun. And Adam is Shosha from Tikkun. Tzio Adam Gimel Kavim and Tikkun. It's like the Tzio Adam, the 3 Kavim, 3 streams. It means well and emsa. That's one thing that the Tikkun is unique. The other thing is Kaimas Kufa Ma'ala Mat. It doesn't give any creation. It's like you're going to be learned earlier. Yigunim and Yesha. In the world of Tikkun, Adam is a Kaimas Kufa, but Ma'ala there's difference between Ma'ala and Mat. There's difference between top and bottom. Pnimius and Chitzenis. So in Adam there's separate, the Pnimius and the Chitzenis. Mashenken and Toyo, he doesn't elaborate, but that's the remedy. Mashenkin and Toyu, everything is equal. There's no difference. And his moral is the fact that the behemoth was not Koim Skufa, but the behemoth, the Reish Varegel B'Shabbat. And there's no kavin because it's Nakudis. Datzach mitoyu. Datzach, Mashenkin Datzach, so that's Adam. What is from Tikkun? Mashenkin Datzach is from Toyu, which is above Tikkun. Poyel echot chul, poy chul. That's quite a remez. So these three words, poyel echot chul, is a remez. I'm going to see this brings in other places. From Pirsha Mishnais la Rambam. The Rambam says in Pirsha Mishnais, the Akdamat Pirsha Mishnais, a huge, major difference between the Adam human being and the rest of the living things. He says in an animal, he says, it brought in the Torah Parshas Emor, that the animal is one-dimensional. Either is angry or is happy. So the midas of the Balei Chaim, it says the unique thing about the Adam, human being, is that he can have multiple directions. He can be angry at one thing and happy with another thing at the same time. So that's something that's unique. A human being, has more than one interest. That's the simple pshat in that Pirsha Mishnais. So the Chassidus brings the Pirsha Mishnais as an illustration of the same fact he's saying now, that Adam has more than one. Is a combination of a lot of qualities. Poel echad amor. So in the tzach is poel echad. Only the word poel means in the maybe translate in the sense of interest. Only one interest, one dimensional. Adam is multi-dimensional. Another way, Nekuda sphere. In the like we learned in the Maimon before, and the Hemshach Shuas, that in the world of Toyu is Nekuda and sphere, not parts of Koima Kfufa. In Toyu, it's not Koima Skufa, it's Koima Kfufa. It's like an animal. The head and the foot are on the same level. They're not upright. V'lachein kodmu. So because they are on a level which is above the vision, above Ischalkus, the state of Nekuda and Sphere, not parts of Lachein kodmu. That's why we say that Toyu is kodmu and Datzach kodmu. That's why Datzach was created first. Aval kasha nofal chvir sakenim nofal lamata. But later, but there's a chison. When there's shvir sakenim, so some of the nitzutzes of Toyu fall even below tikkun. In that stage, tikkun is above the nitzutzes of Toyu. The komoikim b'shvir sakenim gufa are yeshoyim. That's another point in the Kabbalah. We see that. Not Kabbalah. There's the Chaim HaKadosh in Parshas. I think it isn't Shmini. Chaim talks about the famous, interesting point that in the Merkava Elyoina, in the Merkava of Cheskel, so we have Pnei Aryeh, Pnei Shoyer, Pnei Nesha, Pnei Odom. So Pnei Aryeh layamin, Pnei Shoyer me'asmal. Aryeh is higher. Yamin is higher. Chesed is higher. It comes to in this world, in the real world, in the physical world, Ari is a higher tmeya, and Shor is a higher tahel. So the Chaim HaKadosh points out. I mean, there is already arguments how to understand the Chaim, but the way Chassidus expresses that statement. The Chaim means that the way we use Chassidus usually talks about agavayis or namatiyas. Because Ari is higher, because the area in Merkava is Ayamin, that's higher than the shiur. So when it falls further. From the marshal Achayma, that when a very tall wall falls, so the top of the wall, when it falls flat, the top of the wall ends up further from the beginning, from the original place than the bottom of the wall. Whatever the higher you are, it falls further. It's a very gosh was the commercial, but the point, the concept is that wherever has a higher source falls lower. When I get that's the Hagel, but when I get linear name, we see here that the Shver Sakenim area shiur, the area becomes I don't know what it means by shiur here, but the area falls even lower than the shiur. So the Shver Sakenim makes it, the area becomes a higher tmeya. Well, so remember that's the way it happens in Toyu. Toyu be'etzem is higher than Tikkun. But look, when there's a Shver Sakelim, so Toyu falls lower than Tikkun. The Adam is talking about Tikkun, which is below Toyu, who al derech ishtalshlus. But is in a way of ishtalshlus, which means not shvira. It's not shvira sakelim. It's everything is gradual descent. So that's why the Adam has the power to elevate them and to repair them. And because he elevated them, he's himself elevated higher than his own position. Which the Pashtus now means he gets himself the mile of Toy. Later it says even higher. So then it brings in another Maimah Chazal. It says in the also in it says a highest noises is a kisse. The highest carry the cherry. What's meant in I mean, again, it's a very a gash is like a physical, visual image of the situation, which can mean. So on the face of it, it can present when someone carries the other. So who is stronger? The carrier is stronger. So it may sound like the one who carries is stronger. The kisei can't move, and the highest carry it. So the chayur that shows that the highest are stronger. But the truth, the menuso is the high. So there's a Medrash Chazal, which was brought in Chayet and other places. That menuso, that the highest are really carried by the kisei. Really, the kisei has a stronger. They carry, but they are really carried by the kisei. So the same thing in our case. The Adam elevates the nitzutz kedusha of Toyu, but then he's elevated to them. Okay, so again, we have a bunch of ramazim lachiyot that bring out the general point. But we continue. Now he brings in a new concept, which we learned the kids earlier also. Till now, we understood that Adam represents Tikkun, which is below Toyu, and Adam elevates Toyu, and that makes him higher. But the truth is, he says, really, the Sheresh Adam, the Sheresh of Adam, Tikkun is really higher than Toyu. Tofre Shites Gimel. It's another remez. There's a Bichel. Remember, earlier we also signed all kind of Bichlach. In the fourth line of the Maimer, he said, Sefer Tofresh Toiv, which is Tofresh Yud Zayin. So the Maimer, it's a Machzedek Tofresh Yud Zayin. And he says in the Maimer, in the Bichl Tofresh Yud Tes Gimel, I guess there's more than one Tofresh Yud Tes. There's a few Bichlach, a few manuscripts written down by Maimer Tzemach Tzedek from Tofresh Yud Tes. And in the third one, he talks about this concept. What's Dr. Dalton? That Adam be'em is the man with Toyu. But there, Adam Adam Elel in a place Atmis in Sof Shaman plus Toyu. So the real Adam is Adam Elelian. We say Elyon can mean a lot of things. We talk about in the And our neshama is Adam el Elyon to Atzilus. Elyon can mean Atzilus, which so it says in Tanya Perek Gimel, connected the naturally gives 10 spheres, 10 koiches, connected that's the spheres of the energy. So that's also called Adam el Elyon. But here it talks a much higher state. Elyon here really acts as such a minor story. So Adam has is compared really means he expresses the madrega of Adam of Elyon. Well, Cain.
This is the year.
What? Tafresh is the year. Yeah, the year I just said before. That Tzemach Tzedek said Mamor Tafresh just like in if you look in this Maimor, the fourth line on top. So Indian the Inixiv Achrav Sefer Kedel Tzavtoni Sefer Tafresh Toiv, which is Tafresh Yud Zayin. Tafresh Yud Zayin. That Tzemach Tzedek got said Maimor. It was written down in the Bichel, which is in that manuscript called Tafresh Toiv, Tafresh Yud Zayin. There's also Tafresh Yud Tes. The Tzemach Tzedek said Maimor in that year too. And there's Gimel, basically, I guess 3, maybe there's more than 3. There were 3. I assume that's Pshat Gimel. I think that's Pshat. That Bichel Tafresh Tes, Chele Gimel, there discusses this concept. Again, so that Adam is really Adam el Elyon. Compared means also it reflects. It reveals the level of Atzon Shaman. While Cain, what happens in the end? The Adam, the Neshama, after it finishes its avoid in this world, there's Olam Haba. What happens in Olam Haba? Ein b'achila shti. Meaning achila, the concept of achila, like it's explained in Tanya, Tanya, Perek Zion, etc. It talks about the Torah Chila, the godly sparks that are in this world to elevate. That's what Achila is. Achila like we just explained. That's why when we eat, we have the food gives us the power because it has the oil is the toil, which is above Tikkun. And we in other words, we elevate the oils and they give us power. Then a different stage. We can reveal in the neshama is that level of the shayrish is a passing and soft. That's why then there was no need for achila. The pasuk says, "Yechayena miyemayim, vayem hashlishi kimenu v'nechei lefon." He will enliven us in 2 days. But in the 3rd day, we will live on our own. What's meant this? Nechei lefon for the pnimis v'atzon in sof. So the word lefon of the rem is pnimis v'atzon in sof. Well, okay, ein b'achilo shtit. The v'yem hashlishi is a rem is on the Gula Shlishi. So then in that case, there's no need for Ein B'Achil Shtit. That's when he explained the point how Adam has a state, a level within him, Adam, which in our case means in the Shama so above Achila, because above Torah. Indian, so he goes into a little detail on this particular point. In the shiur sakein oil zayin tachteis. It brings in a new thing which you actually didn't learn until now. We learned so much about Torah and Tikkun, but now it introduces a new concept we did not touch yet upon. It says in Kabbalah that the shiur sakein was only in zayin tachteis, only the 7 lower spheres, it was the midas, not the moishe. In the level of Moichin, there's no shvir. Noida, the Zayin Tachtoinos, B'chol Mokim, Ubchis Chitzonius. The 7 Zayin Tachtoinos that I like me all remember, hopefully that it's very common expression in Kabbalah that every sphere is broken down into two parts. Gimel is Sheines Zayin Tachtenis, which we usually understand already in the cipher that Zayin Tachtenis means the 7 lower spheres, and Gimel is the 3/4 spheres, which is Chabad versus Chagas Nehim. But here he talks in a language as if this is all new. So he said, Zayin Tachtenis v'chol makom pnes chitzonius. The Zayin Tachtenis of each madrega, this is the external part. L'chein midas shachar mazazulas. So that is actually something we know, that midas versus moichin, what is it midas and moichin? Moichin means intellect, something that the person lives in his own world. He lives in his own world and he analyzes the objects around him. Midas, that's intellect. Feelings, something that he relates to the world that's outside. So that's really called, that's Shayach Lazulas, something you relate to you're affected by the outside. So that's the Chitzonius. That's not your real thing. It's only your external part. So when we say, when it says in Kabbalah, the Shviras HaKelim of Zayin Tachtenis means that Shvira really touches only the Chitzonius. And then sometimes it says that Shvira also affects Gimel Rishonis, which is the intellect. As we all know, it's in Tanya also, very fast. There's Chachmas Somesa'ilam, there's Chachmas Chitzonius. But in that, there is a level of Shvira in the Meichin also, but it's only in the Chitzonius. So this point that the Shvira is not in the Meichin, not in the Meichin, Marum is in a pasuk. I think it's in Mishra. Yomusa v'loy b'chachma. So I don't know if simple pshat in the pasuk is, but the Remez is the Yomusa, the Shvira of Toyu, v'imlach v'yom is loy b'chachma. That's not in the Madrig of Meichin.
But in Chitzonius Mecher it did happen.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, in this Maimon, he talks very cryptic. So in Meichin Gufa, only the Chitzonius. ובכמה מקיימס מבחינת התויו מבחינת חיצוניות. בכלל he says, in some places it explains that toyo was this tikkun is really chitzonius. Maybe I'll look more into this point. Generally speaking, there's all mimer, the Rebbe mentioned a lot of times, all mimer of the Mittel Rebbe, Al Totzar Smoyov, that Al Totzar Moyov is Moichin the Lumas next. It talks about over there at the Avodah, the Avodah is Midas, Biur Midas. Moichin is not something, it's similar. It's related to the fact that the Ikar Shvira Oya Bezayin Tachtenis. Something here, very big, it says that Shviras HaKelim Oya Bezayin Tachtenis. Sometimes the Lashon is Ikar. He himself says like the Ikar. He starts saying that, then he says that Shvira Gam Begin L'Shenis. There is a level of Shvira in Gim L'Shenis also. But this can be, if you want to get into it, it can be explained. Can be explained logically also to a degree that in the Shvira, the real failing can happen only in the level of midas. But there is a certain level of failing that affects intellect also. Like I said, there's Chachmas Chitzonius, Chachmas Somesa'ilam. There is when it's really not real Chachma. It's not a real Chachma. It's only Chitzonius of Chachma. We learned, I think it was in Samachei, all Arichas, how real Chachma is only in the Dush, because the Chachma of La'umaz, which comes from Chachma the Toyu, is more. It's not real objective, so to speak. It's not real Chachma. It's more like a preparation of the midas. It's more like a tool of the midas. It's not pure Chachma. We've got to it once. Maybe the second time we learned, we'll elaborate more on all these points. But another point, it says sometimes it says the expression all of machshava, that both of these modes of expression, modes of being, toy and tikkun, both of them arose in the Kaviyach and the Ebersh's thought. Both have a source Lamaila in Likus, because nothing comes on its own. And it says over there, toy Pnes Hitzeni is there in Sof, but tikkun Pnes Pnim is there in Sof. So according to all this, tikkun is toy is really below. Not only that, so number one, so it's a little different. Until now, and actually it's another way of explaining what he said. It's not different. He started saying that because Adam is the Mailam Toyu. So basically, that's the same thing what he says here. The tikkun is really pnimis, Toyu is chitzenius. That's why also the aliyah pnimis pnimis is the Mailam pnimis shayr shabda. It's about Toyu. Lachain, ein b'achilu v'shtir. There's no need for achilu v'shtir. There's no need for the beer of Toyu because you're above it. V'zeu inyan. Now he brings another.
So achilu v'shtir should be really connected to the toe, not to the tikkun. No, but now in this olam hazeh that we're in the olam tikkun. So why should it like achilu v'shtir?
So if you remember the Maimon before, the Olam Hazeh, Shuvas Dakan, Olam Hazeh is not tikkun. Olam Hazeh is the Olam will be a metaken toy. Olam Hazeh is full. There it's a mei chai fell from toy. Olam Hazeh is full of nipsutas of Olam HaToy. The avoid of Olam Hazeh is tikkun. The actual objects in Olam Hazeh is toyu, all the nipsutas of toyu, and our avoid is to be mevar the nipsutas of toy that exist in Olam Hazeh to be mistaken. But Olam Hazeh is really Olam. In other words, say Olam Hazeh, there are two parts. There's a Mizbar and the Mizbar. There's Chelak HaMizbar, that's Toy, that's Nefesh HaBamis. The Mizbar is Tikkun. In other words, Tikkun in Olam Hazeh means it's the act. It's not Olam HaTikkun, it's the act. It's part of the process of Tikkun. But what do you Mizbar? Olam Hazeh is Toy.
But the Seder Ishtarshelus is the tikkun, no?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what?
Seder Ishtarshelus is the tikkun. That's
right,
what the tikkun starts.
But within Seder Ishtarshelus, you have all the nitzutas that fell from Toyu. If you look in earlier on page Kuf Mem Tes, Shom Escheles Vapnimis, actually says something interesting. זה תשובה באוילם הזה, באוילם הזה הזמן להעביר את האוילם הזה עדיין מבחינת נקודה שלא נסבר, הוא כמו שכוסו והאורץ אויס הטוי. You bought the pasuk for Chumash from the second pasuk in Chumash. Oretz ois hatoyu. The wool, the way it is with that Aravoid, it's toyu. That's why the Aravoid is to mevar the tzudas of toyu. It's part of the Ishtarshelus, you're right, but the Mizbarel has the nitzutas from Shviras HaKeinu that are not Ishtarshelus, that are not Mizbar, not Mavur, not Mizbarel yet.
Haisa is not past.
What?
Haisa is not past, whereas Haisa was.
No.
Not that there is.
That's deep.
Before Shviras HaKeinu.
No, that's not how it's okay. It's okay. Yes, as well. It's because it describes creation, but the premise is the Oretz that's created, the Eibush created the world, the way it is. Also means that it's toyu. It's full of the toyu. Look, if that bring proof, the reality is, like it says in Tanya from Yitzchayim, Olam Hazeh Malek Livetz Sitrach, but Hashem Goyim. Olam Hazeh is full of unrepaired objects and concepts. The world the way it is needs repair. So it's toyu. It's not tikkun. It's not tikkun in the sense that everything's fixed. Still, it's toyu, and we have to fix So this world is toil. In other words, that aspect of this world we have to. The nefesh habahamis, like you said in the Maimon before. Nefesh Elokis is tikkun, and nefesh habahamis is toil, which the avoid of nefesh Elokis is to fix nefesh habahamis.
So the ultimate tikkun is must be as Mashiach when Mashiach comes.
Yeah, that's what they're going to reach. The shleimus habi'urim, the fulfillment of the tikkun is going to happen when Mashiach comes. But our process, that's now we're in the process. So because after everything is taken care of, there's no need anymore of toyu. Then we don't need a chilul shtir. Okay, that you're bringing out a good point. But we have it's not as you're right. It's not as smooth. Sometimes, usually, not just sometimes. Usually, Elam Hazeh is part of the shtarshus, which is true. But that aspect of Elam Hazeh, which is not yet repaired, that expresses toyu. This is the idea that he's been saying for the last time on. That it's nefesh habahamis, the mizbar. Now he brings in another point. Now, so this idea that lost love is also the same idea of Isa Achila V'Yom Kippur. It says in Kabbalah that Havayu Elikim. What is Havayu Elikim? That the Aliyah is Aliyah Samachas Pnim Yisati. Shlomayim Hashvir, Hashvir B'Chitzon Yisati. Avo. Va'o B'Chitzon Yisati. Because Aliyah Dim Kiva B'Chitzon Yisati. Okay, also B'Chil. Shadei Yidagdel B'Chitzon Yisati. In Siddur, the Rebbe Siddur talks about Yom Kippur. He explains why there's no Achila. Because in Yom Kippur, our Madrega state is above Toyo, above Bilu of Toyo. That's why there's no Achila. So there's the same idea that lost is no Achila. So after we explained all this, that Be'etzem the Adam is really as a source which is above Toyo. That's why lost love does not need for Toyo. There's no Achila. He doesn't need it. Then the question comes back. Is there any movement? So we started the discussion by saying that Adam was created after the creation because he was Lord, because Tikkun was Lord in Torah. That's why he needs the Nitzutzos of Torah in order to be Makabel Chayes from them. Now, after we discover the second part, the emes, Adam, the emes, like he said, it started in page Kufnanal, 4 lines. The emes, I tell you that really Adam is above, Tikkun is above Torah, and he brought the right classes of Ein B'Achila Shtia. So now the original question comes back: why do we need to get Achila? Why do we need to, in order to survive, in order to be sustained? Do we need the highest Eliki from the Torah? Adam is really above it. So why do we need Taka? So then he goes back to this whole discussion of Torah and Tikkun the way we had it in the Maimon before. The inner Adam the word Adam is the Psukim is Merames on the Madrega of Zo, the Atzilus, which means the spheres of Atzilus, which are the Midas, Zeir Anpin, which is Chagas Nehi. That is really Adam. That is the regular Tzir Adam in Kabbalah. It's true that its shirish, its source, its root is starker in the Madrega we just said, in Minas HaChochma, even higher, in such stuff. We can't be but its impact. This is a shirish marker, but lagia mean I think the easier way to understand it. The concept of lagia means it can't express, it can't feel that aspect of it. That shoshim l'maylo ki ima de aburim shmasakelim the toyu shiur shadezer the Torah hakach yach lagia shoshim. So that's the answer in short. Stark it should that this ultimate source isn't very high, but it cannot reach that source unless it goes through the process of first reaching Mavar Toyu. Only then can he feel his real source, which is above Toyu. It's a process. There's not direct line, so to speak, to his source. It has to go through the gradual process, first build Toyu, and only then can he reach above Toyu. That's the general answer. But now he's going to develop it much more barichus. But he adds another expression which we didn't have before. There's an expression sometimes, it's called, it says in, what's the Lashon?
Etzer, Etzer,
What?
Yerush Etzer.
No, Yerush is the one who is Yerush. I don't mean Yerush, but it says when you get to Esav and Yaakov, it says sometimes in the Maimorim, I think it comes from before Chassidus, that Esav is the Ach HaGadol and Yaakov is Yerush Esav. There's a get of Yerush. The idea that the Tikkun gets the Earth of Torah is sometimes called Yerush, because Vayomis, when the older brother, so to speak, passes away, so the younger brother Yashin, you understand? So sometimes it's interesting. Sometimes Chassidus uses I think it's something in a pasuk. The Yosh, I don't remember the pasuk. It's a pasuk sometimes uses the concept of Yerusha when they get to the Yachas of Yaakov to Esav. There's a scale of Yerusha. It's the same thing when you get to Toy and Tikkun, the Adam to the Bureau of Mitzvot is the Yerush is the Toy. I'm just concentrating with the expression Yerush. Yerush is something that happens after the Meirish is gone. So the Yerush takes over what the Meirish had, right? Same thing Yaakov, which is Neshamas Yisrael, he takes over the Eretz the Toy from Esav. The Russian. It says I'm not sure that there's a pasuk in Bola, in the word Bilam, Va'oya Adam Yereisha, Va'oya Yereisha Seir Oiva, V'Yisrael Esachoyel. Maybe it's possible that pasuk that Adam becomes a Yerusha to Yisrael. Yeah. Just another way to look at it. So now starting at this point after Va'ininu, he uses a little more. He starts writing out a little more, not mamish, but till now every word was a remes. Now he starts writing out a little more barichus what he's saying. But basically he's bringing in the thing we learned in the Maimar before. Even his Bible, but the master tells me so. We learned in the Maimar before. Skaboni lachmi. Da seine Kudes de Toyu, Remember, there was we had a longer Arifus in the Maimar before. We described that the spheres of Toyu are called Nekudes, Zayin Nekudes. They're like Erzarua, they're similar to something that you plant, like you plant the kernel, and that turns into Patzuf in the Tikkun. That grows, and you remember, but the Meshorim, the Mashal from the Elam, the Mashal from the blood, that the Nekudas of Toyu are really like the kernel that which turns into a Elam, turns into a tree in the world of Tikkun. So now he's going to elaborate on that. Maya said about Kazeli, why did Abish create it? He asked one of the basic questions. Why did Abish create the whole system in such an interesting way? First, they create Toyu in the state of Nekudas. And then the Nekudas of Toyu turned into Patzuf. Why couldn't the Eibishter create, sometimes there's this questions. Why the Eibishter create the create the world state? That's a similar question. Over here the question is a little more more detail. Why did they have to create a toy? And we could end from there. Create tikkun. Here you can create tikkun. He could have created the patzufim, which means the madregas, the spheres of tikkun, atzilus, without the intermediary time of toy. Could have created direct the patzufim. Why do we need this process? So it says three. The Hagav is bringing in two different reasons, but then he's getting to the real reason. So one explanation is why do we need to is lahavdil adin. It's 8 o'clock already, so hopefully we'll start tomorrow. We'll continue this concept tomorrow. Quite a tough mimer, but okay. Go ahead.